there's a version of Danny Boy that my mom sent out to me, because my mom's from County Kerry. She's from the Evora Peninsula, Carsavine. But she grew up listening to this version of Danny Boy, which is about the Beara Peninsula. And the song is Marion Ní Raghaillaigh, which translates as Morning in the Beara Peninsula. And I don't know if some of you maybe have heard this version of it, but I'm just going to do the first verse in Gaelic. And you can see a little bit there, the Gaelic and the English. And it's really just about being on the Beara Peninsula on the morning and listening to the sound of the birds coming down off the mountain as you're on the seashore. Which I was unaware of until my mom sent it out to me. But here we go. This is Marion Ní Raghaillaigh. Isé Peigín Marion Ní Raghaillaigh, we meram yasav an throne. Is gonna name Maharing Hana Shlevta Kashna Fariga. Gake manatin maramin magro. It's a been even at a suck the lane in. Thorin Sero and a broad on thoughts. The torfin dream, the scum of love on sail shore. The vine malerga on the hour, an cuiv yark on. And then it will go into, oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling. From glen to glen and down the mountain side. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But when you come and all the flowers are dying, if I am dead as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave for me. And I shall hear those soft you tread above me, and oh, my grave shall warmer, sweeter be. For you will bend and tell me that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me. There you go. That's the mashup of those two versions. So it began with Marion Ní Raghaillaigh, Morning in the Beara Peninsula, and then it goes into what I suppose the more well-known version of Danny Boy. But then there's another part of it which I was I was taught about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's actually a Roy Orbison introduction. And his introduction starts with, the valley is hushed, and the flowers are all dying. The meadow is white with your winter snow. Lord,
James, it's me, I'm on the mobile. James, Tyler fixed me up this morning with this. It's program for 2 hours. I hit to zoom me in. So I don't want to turn it off because I might be able to put it back on again, okay?
So you have this Roy Orbison version,
okay.
And you have this Irish version, and you have then the traditional version. And I think for the 14 years I've been singing it, it keeps on mixing and mashing to become something very different. But yeah, I've been very lucky to have a song. For me, this song, I know some people kind of get tired of hearing some songs, but this is the song that I never get tired of hearing. So I'm pretty lucky with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noel McCormack here. Who wrote that song? I believe it was an Englishman that wrote the song. And then he had no music to him, so his sister was in America, and he gave her the words of the song, and she put the London Derriere horse to it. The London Derriere was the melody.
Very true.
And, that was the story. So that's I don't know whether I stand to be corrected though.
No, I heard the same thing. I think Fred Weatherly, I think, was an English songwriter. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes.
He sent it out to his sister. Yeah. And then Londonderry Air is the air to it.
Yeah.
Well.
So a lot of the Irish people thinks that that's Danny Boy, but of course the Londonderry Air was there first, by the way.
Yeah. It's had.
Anyway,
I've had a couple of people say that the air, a lot of these Irish airs come from Middle East kind of parts of the world, where these old traditional songs that we know actually have traveled for thousands of years across the lands, and we end up with versions of them or variations of them. So you'll find a version of that air in Turkey or in Syria, or even out as far as China. You'll find variations on these songs, which is kind of incredible.
Yes.
I sang Danny Boy in Beijing about 10 years ago in the Hall of the People in Beijing as part of a tour that we were doing. And Danny Boy was one of the songs that all of the people had a standing ovation for. And we were wondering why that particular song, and talking to people, they said that they have a real passion for songs of people, songs of the people. And a song like that exists in lots of cultures. And I think that's why Danny Boy had such a resonance with them. We sang it in Irish and we sang it in English, and they spoke Mandarin and Cantonese. It was amazing. It's amazing to see.
I was at a party here in Sydney. We had a big sing-along. There was a lot of musicians there and everything, and there was a lot of medical people there that night, and they joined us anyway. They were outside in another room, and this Chinese bloke come in, and he sang Danny Boy.
Wow.
No worries, he done a real good job in it. Real good job,
Yeah. I love that. I think
so. It's very well known all over the world.
Yeah. I've noticed that with the Irish music scene in Sydney, especially actually, a lot of the musicians that I know in Sydney are from all over the world, and they play a lot of Irish traditional music. Some of my best friends are, from Sweden, from Portugal, from Italy, Japan, and they're playing some of the best traditional Irish or Celtic tunes that I've heard. And then they're sitting in amongst all these other great Irish and Australian musicians as well. It's definitely one of the one unifiers that people have in common, I think. So we're going to have a look at the song Spancill Hill. I'm just going to share with you the lyrics on the screen for those of you who can see it. Sorry, give me 20 seconds. 20 seconds. There it is. And 3, 2, 1. That should be it. So again, this isn't another one of these songs that actually isn't so old. Again, late 70s that it was written, but again, it kind of covers that sort of idea of dreaming about being back in a place or going to a place and traveling to these places. And it's I think it voted one of the top 5 Irish songs of all time in one of these recent surveys that they do. But I think, and you're right, like talking about some songs that don't get done too much. There's so many songs out there that actually we should be listening to more and more. But we'll maybe the next time we meet, we can have a few more up our sleeve, so to speak. So this is Spancill Hill. Last night as I lay dreaming of pleasant days gone by, my mind been bent on rambling to Ireland I did fly. I stepped on board a vision and I followed with a will. When at last I came to anchor at the cross at Spancill Hill. It was on the 23rd of June, before the fair, when Ireland's sons and daughters and friends assembled there. The young, the old, the brave and the bold, their duty to fulfill. At the little church at Clooney, a mile from Spancill Hill. I went to see my neighbour, to see what they might say. The old ones were all dead and gone, the young ones turning grey. I met with Taylor Quigley, he's as bold as ever still. For he used to make me breeches when I lived in Spancill Hill. I paid a flying visit to my first and only love. She's as white as any lily and gentle as a dove. She threw her arms around me saying, Johnny, I love you still. She's Ned the farmer's daughter and the pride of Spancill Hill. I dreamt I hugged and kissed her as in the days of yore. She said, Johnny, you're only joking, as many's the time before. The cock he crew in the morning, he crew both loud and shrill. And I woke in California, and miles from Spancill Hill. Well, last night as I lay dreaming of pleasant days gone by, my mind been bent on rambling to Ireland I did fly. I stepped on board a vision and I followed with a will. When at last I came to anchor at the cross at Spancill Hill. There you go. That's Spancill Hill. My introduction to John McCormack was again through my mom, who had a vinyl record of John McCormack from 1906. And the first song on the record was my mum's favorite song of all time. And it's Macushla. And my mum, anytime my mom hears me singing songs, no matter what the song is, my mom, when the song ends, she'll say, that was lovely. Will you do Macushla? No matter what I've done. So this one is for my mother. I know it because of John McCormack. I know it because my mom used to sing it, and she loves the song. And Macushla, I think Marion or any of you who speak Gaelic or know some Gaelic, or even have watched that movie that I watched recently with Clint Eastwood's film $1 Million Baby. He calls the boxing champion that he trains and coaches, he calls her Macushla, and that becomes her name. And Macushla is from the Irish words, can translate a little bit in a couple of different ways, but maybe like heartbeat or your pulse. So obviously it's something that can be very romantic, or it can also be something that's just about real beautiful love of family or friendship. So this is Macushla. I would advise you to have a listen to John McCormack's version of it once this session has ended. It's beautiful. Macushla, Macushla, your sweet voice is calling me softly again and again. Macushla, Macushla, I hear it so plainly. Macushla, Macushla, I hear it in vain. Macushla, Macushla, your white arms are reaching. I feel them enfolding, caressing me still. Fling them out from the darkness, my lost love, Macushla. Let them find me and bind me again if they will. Macushla, Macushla, your red lips are saying that death is a dream and that love is forever. Then awaken, Macushla, awake from your dreaming. My blue-eyed Macushla, awaken to stay. I know some of you were interested maybe in looking at, again, more Irish language, some Irish language things. And I was looking at what I could find. Now, see what you can hear. Yeah, you can see that there, hopefully. So I haven't taken all of the lyrics for this song, which you might recognize when I go up to the top. But we're going to listen to a version of this in a moment. But I just thought it'd be interesting, those of you who want to just have a little look, and we'll talk through some of the lyrics in Gaelic and what they mean, so that when you listen to it, maybe you can pick up a few of the words that pop out. So the chorus of this, and this is Peigín Leitir Mór. Peigín. So the chorus you might recognize as, oh garum me, it's a garum me my store. Hila grala and me, it's a Peigín Leitir Mór. And that's that repetitive chorus that will just keeps on going. So if you haven't learned it by the first time around, you'll know it by the sixth time around. So when we get into the verses, part of the verses here, I see V1. And Marion, please feel free, or anyone else out there who wants to correct my broken Irish at this stage. The first verse, V1, they say, Cor the quid bullon. And that's the Irish for cor, like to count your bulls.
Correct.
Count the bulls in your field. Agus féach an bhfuil siad ann. And have a look to see if they're there. And what a wonderful Irish lyric. Count your bulls and have a look to see if they're there. And then they go back into the chorus. Oh, garam, garami, which is the Irish for I will call you. I'm going to call you my love. I'm going to call you my love. Agus garami mustor, my love, my heart. Mila gros, so 1,000 loves, my soul, you are Peigín Leitir Mór. And then they go into that first verse. And then you look at V2. Per bit far a yoas e, knock air a ves on thaw. So pay is like whichever man gets you, whoever the man is that gets you, per bit far a yoas e, knock air a ves on thaw. So whichever man gets you, isn't it him that has the luck? It isn't him that has the luck. So we've moved on from counting cows and bulls to talking about the person who finds you and is the one who wins your heart, is the one who has all the luck. And then V3, it says, Say na scéile cuirsi anir cum gynnéim fig lat vod shoal. And I mean, again, I love Irish for lots of reasons, and one is just the way they turn phrases like this. Say na scéile cuirsi anir cum. The story that she put my way, the story that she gave to me, gynnéim fa lat vod shoal, was that she would make me a sailboat out of a suit out of a sailboat. Like she would make me this wonderful, this wonderful person. That's the story she said to me, was that she would make that of me. She would make me into something. I suppose the sense of it is she would make me into something remarkable. And then verse 4, Le solas gialli gilla no gavekadish on showed. And that is to do with the jewels, the solas gialli, the bright lights, the jewels, the bright lights that we would see in that. And then verse 5, Mila gro le ma anami is gyar gemeg she more. 1,000 loves of my soul is gyar gemeg she more. It's not long until. Now this is the line that I couldn't really figure out what the sense of it is. Is gyar gemeg she more? It's not long until she will be big. But I presume the sense of it is not long until she will be a big part of maybe my heart, a big part of my life. Potentially that's the sense of it.
Okay. Agus so garam me, agus garam me mastor. Miller gral among the me, she Peigín Leitir Mór. Dairis was a Peigín agus chasser war an nord. Cura duchad ballon agus fiacha will shed on. So garam me, agus garam me mastor. Miller gral among the me, she Peigín Leitir Mór. Ta brida gum ta cocha gum, she Peigín van the store. Baby farry yafasi na khere vaisata. So garam me, agus garam me mastor. Miller gral among the me, she Peigín Leitir Mór. Kermeshgele shireki gaganon yan bod more. Shemshgele chershin yeragam ganyanach lebocho. So garam me, agus garam me mastor. Miller gral among the me, she Peigín Leitir Mór. Ta yeskarina galivek dalamach shol. Ik tachtin year ta yeskarina galivek tachtin year record. Le salas gale gilla nun gavek shit and shol. so good me, gus good me must door. Mila growl among the me, she Peigín Leitir Mór. Stuffed it up.
Lovely. That's beautiful.
Oh, I lost the words there for a minute. Sorry.
Well done. Well done.
Well done. Yeah. Is that a song you learned at I mean it's 1911. That's what it says up here. Is that a song that you would have sung growing up?
Absolutely, yes, indeed. Leitir Mór is our next village to us, or the next township to us in back where we're from, in Connemara.
You asked earlier on, did we have any mementos, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just picked out here the Qantas tickets that I have with me from the time I came out in '88 with 2 children. So
wow.
I've kept the tickets as a memento. That's 32 years ago. Okay.
It's
amazing. But anyway, just another little thing. When the children started school, I don't know whether it's New South Wales government. That was in '88. That was the 200-year anniversary of Cook coming to botany. So Joan, I've got this big, beautiful gold-coloured medal of that the state gave us. They gave us all these medals to celebrate. Yes, didn't you get one?
Lovely.
I've got it in my hand. It's looking beautiful. Got a picture of the boat. What do you call that boat he came on? Cook.
I came on the Fair Star.
Oh, you came to the fair, but what did 200 years ago? Captain
Endeavour.
The
Endeavour.
So it's a big engraving of the Endeavour. Plus, it talks about Botany Bay, January 1788. So New South Wales state, the government gave us all these when we came out.
Wow. Can you show it up to the camera?
Can you see them? How can you see it?
Wow.
Can you see it?
Lovely. Great. Yeah, I can.
You see it all, Chloe, on the other side there's lots of writing.
Yeah, I can see it, Geraldine. I can see it, Geraldine. I can see it.
You can see it. Okay, you can see all these.
Yes.
And another one, the school then gave us similar one, but in a silver. You see that?
Lovely.
That's all the writing.
Yes,
the kids were all given all these. So I've kept all these. So in terms of mementos, because I only finished, I suppose, work last year, I'm decluttering. And these are all the things I've pulled out to keep rather than throw things away.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was going to say also is, talk about Marion. She's doing a lot of their talking there about her travels. I knew Marion a long time ago. She might have forgotten that. I knew her a long time ago. Remember she telling you all them stories? I knew Marion then.
Should we tell them about the parties we used to meet at?
You can tell that story. You got the best memory of all this.
We've got to keep them under wraps.
On laps and gaze and everything. And I often wondered, and I was just, Ty, just going to bring up names here, because maybe other Irish members are looking in or listening in. It's a lovely lady called Emer Quinn, and she's still out here. We've lost contact with her.
Right.
And there was Mary, I forget the other Mary's name, but there's so many lovely people we used to hang around with at that time, literally called hang around with. But Emer, I often wonder what happened. So if Emer is listening in, maybe she could make contact with us.
It's a lovely thing.
I think it's a good
maybe
idea.
we can do a bit of other research and maybe see if we can find her.
Yes, just say where they are now, because they've all been basically like ourselves, living a low life, relaxing, not working. So plenty of time to catch up. Yeah, thank you. That's what I want to say.
Thanks, Gertrude.
Yeah.